cold start on a 991 Speedster.
We'll have an opportunity here. Nobody's in front of us to run out the gears. So that's full throttle. I mean, pretty damn good. Pretty damn good, guys. That's a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean,
it never gets old.
It's not the fastest car in the world. I mean, that's for sure. But you know, it's got it where it counts. You know. What's going on, everyone? My name is Adam, and welcome back to Driven Nashville. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We produce awesome things like this as far as car reviews every single week. We're here on the Natchez Trace. Honestly, it's amazing, Jeff. This
it's a beautiful
is like an
day.
Incredible day. God is shining down on us right now. It's 64 degrees in January, really. And behind me is one rare, beautiful, special GT911. Now, if you don't know what this is, we're going to explain a little bit about it today. Jeff is the owner. They only made 1,948 of these. And this is a Carmine Red, one of my all-time favorite colors on Porsche. Guys, this is such a good color. It color changes from like dark red to pink based on where the sun hits it. Absolutely gorgeous. So Jeff, in your words, my man, what makes this specifically, being the Speedster, a special car?
So this is Porsche's 70th anniversary car.
Right. Celebrating 1948 when the company initially came out, right?
Yep.
Started
so
going.
It's a Speedster. Mm-hmm. It's the only GT Speedster that's ever been made. It's also besides the 70th anniversary car, it's kind of a GT3 convertible, but it's kind of a homologation of different GT 911s.
Right.
So it's basically a 911R because most of the car is carbon fiber. It has.
Which I didn't know that. So
yes.
I know this is carbon fiber, but that's same
carbon
thing on all
fiber.
the GT911s, right?
Yep.
At least the new ones. But this is also carbon fiber?
That's also carbon fiber.
And that massive piece back there is carbon fiber as well. Which
and that's the largest piece of carbon fiber that they ever made.
Right. And this has about 510 horsepower.
Yes.
Well, it's underrated.
It's underrated, as most Porsches are.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's pushing a little bit more than that. What, I'd say 500 to the wheels probably. So
probably.
Like 560.
Probably.
This also has individual throttle bodies and slightly larger fuel injectors, I believe.
Yes. So this is so it's like a 911R/GT3R convertible. So the engine comes from the GT3R Cup car.
Oh,
and so it's like a 991.3, if you will, kind of.
Yep.
So this has ITBs, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
It does drive a little differently, characteristic-wise. It builds more power, a little faster, and a little bit lower RPMs.
Okay.
So most GT3s, you got to be over 5,000 to build some power.
Right.
But this, you can be at 2,000 and you're building power. 3,000 and you're really going, even in 6th gear.
And this still red line's close to 9K, right?
9,000.
9,000.
9,000.
It's a 4-liter flat 6. If you don't know anything about 911s, I think anybody that clicked on the thumbnail probably already has at least one of these in the garage. Not this car, but a 911, right? Now, I love your spec. You know, now I would say most Speedsters probably have the 18-way adjustables in them, but you went with the carbon buckets, which I think is a beautiful and gives it a really aggressive look and frankly a lot more sporty. I don't know if you're going to take your Speedster on the track, you know, but you definitely have the right spec for it.
Yeah, I actually got really lucky. I didn't spec it this way.
Yeah.
Would
you have spec'd it with those seats?
I would have spec. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the seats are so valuable as it is because they're literally all carbon fiber and they look great.
Yep.
But for me, they're really actually comfortable and I really like them.
Yep.
But I didn't get to spec it. I did buy the car brand new. It was the last brand new Speedster in the country, so I did get really lucky.
And when was that? 19?
I bought it. No, I bought it February or March of
2020?
No, actually, God, I'm trying to remember now. It's
right
so funny.
before COVID?
No, I got it right. I got it after COVID.
Okay.
Late 2020, I believe.
Okay.
Is when I got it.
Yeah.
But I just got lucky. It was brand new. I'm first owner.
And getting an allocation for one of these guys is almost impossible.
To be honest with you, I had other cars, and I was going to get the new 992 GT3,
right?
Which the 992 GT3 has this engine in it. So they kind of tested it in this and then put it in the new 992 GT3 and 3RS.
Have you done anything to the vehicle?
Yeah, so I have an aftermarket exhaust,
okay.
GMG, Global Motorsports Group.
Okay.
So I have a big thanks to James Safranis for that. Awakens
amazing,
it,
though.
and it sounds great.
So this being the last generation of the 991 series, this is like the send-off, right? They did put gas particulate filters in these, like the new ones have, the 992s. But if you do get a 991.1, those did not have gas particulate filters, and they're kind of known to have a little more soul to them because of that. At least I think.
It's been a great car. It's fun. I'm glad. It's kind of was a combination for me. I really wasn't going to get a Speedster, to be really honest. I thought they were always really cool. I actually had an allocation for a 992 GT3.
Okay.
And when the configurator came out, I built it, and I'm like, wow, it's expensive. A GT3 and the cab, and a couple of my friends had Speedsters, and I was like, well, maybe I just combine it, you know, and I sell the cab, and I skip the GT3, and I get the best of both worlds, a GT3 cab.
Right.
That's numbered, and that's limited, and that's special.
Oh, this is the one to have. I mean, you're never going to lose money in this thing.
Yeah.
If you ever sell this thing, you call me up.
A couple of my friends were really instrumental in me getting it, too, and supportive.
And you really have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody to get one of these. I mean, that's just the reality. You just can't walk into Porsche and be like, hey, I want to get a numbered Speedster, and you've never bought a Porsche from them. Sorry, buddy, you got to start with the Macan, and then you got to get up to the Cayenne, and we want you to have your first base C4S, and then eventually we'll call you, if you're lucky, to get a GT car. Not a Speedster, but a GT car, right? You can get a GT3, right? And then eventually, maybe 5 years later, you might be, well known enough to get an allocation of one of these. That's just the way it is. They're just that desirable.
Wow.
Well, I do appreciate the fact that you have 3,000 miles on it, and you actually are enjoying the car, and and it's not a garage queen. I know some of these guys that have these cars that have no miles on, like delivery miles. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. Well, this car is properly maintained. My buddy Jeff Jepson owns Classy Car Detail in Newport Beach.
It looks awesome.
So he's done all my cars. So this actually came off the truck at his place.
Okay.
I did not drive it at all. Just went from truck to his place. He paint corrected the whole car and PPF'd the entire car.
Nice.
So every inch of the car is PPF.
Yeah, this is just PPF.
Everything's PPF.
So that saved your butt right there.
Yeah, you'll never see. You won't see a seam anywhere on the car.
Yeah.
So even the back piece, usually there's 3 seams. There's no seam.
Right.
So then it's ceramic. So the car is pristine, and as long as you do that, you can drive it anywhere. It doesn't really matter.
I agree, 100%. Guys, one of the things I noticed right now is there's no Porsche badge on it. How did that happen? So
that's an interesting story. So the car actually, you cannot get a Porsche D badge coming from the factory. There's no way. They will not do that. But somehow this car slipped through the seams, and it actually came on the boat to the U.S. without a badge. They forgot to put the little sticker, because it's just a sticker.
GT cars all have stickers.
Well, you got to save, you save weight, make it faster.
Which is ridiculous, but that's one of the fun things.
So it actually came into the U.S. without the sticker.
Wow.
And I've got it documented from Porsche. 2 Porsche reps saw it come in and noticed it was without the crest.
No kidding.
So this actually, I did not take the sticker off. It actually, one of the only cars ever in the history of Porsche that they forgot to put the crest on there.
Wow. If you guys don't know, these are PCCB brakes. Those are very expensive, $8,000 brakes. Coming to the rear here, just a great looking car. Love the blacked out logo here. Now, if you also don't know, these two kind of haunches here hide the rollover crash protection system, which instead, if you actually flip your GT Speedster, which you got to be absolutely crazy to do that, but if you do, these will pop open and save this entire beautiful long carbon fiber piece. And then a couple of other fun details on the inside here. You know, this is mostly just GT Porsche, but they've got green gauges here, and the you know, all of these are green right here, and you know, even the Sport Chrono up there is also green. And then you've got the color contrast stitching here in the seats, the Speedster logo here in red. Here's your numbered plaque. This is number 672 of 948, as I mentioned, ever to be produced. Then you also have the carbon fiber inlay, and of course the glorious 6-speed manual. Now, you can also put up, this does have the ability to raise the suspension. Now, because he has an aftermarket exhaust, that no longer opens and closes the baffles. This does control your wing as well. So this is your suspension and this is your wing. I will say it kind of kills the look of this particular car with the wing up. I'm happy to show you guys what that looks like right now. And then you also do have the illuminated Speedster and carbon fiber doors, sills, and that's actually another upgrade. Let's go ahead and open this and open this, and let's show you guys how to actually put the roof up now, as I think that's a fun process all to itself.
You come back here, you lift this, you can see this is all
let's show the
exposed
folks
carbon.
Look at this, guys. I mean, just a fantastically cool piece. I mean, wow. Look at that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The weave. Just beautiful.
Yeah.
All this is still painted in Carmine Red too. It's just typical Porsche, right? And you know,
sadly you can't see the engine.
I know. I literally complain about that every time I did the 992 touring video. I'll put a link to that real quick.
Sadly
but,
you can't see that.
But they do give you a little plaque here. You can put some fluids in here, but all the modern Porsches, no ability to see your engine.
Yep, just a nice little piece of plastic.
Yep. All right, so now that you've done that.
So the top is manual, but it's simple. You just pull it up.
There you go.
That's it.
Well, that's not quite it. You still have to go back and put it down. Now this is very light, guys. It's literally butter to do.
Yep. And then you just
and you have to manually clip these.
You do. These go in.
Now these go in easier than the Boxster. I will say the Boxster you have to kind of rock them in. It can be a little frustrating. Those are just literally click.
And then the car just has to be battery on.
Yep. And
press
there is a button that latches right there. There you go. And if you want to know where the latch is, I'll show it to you real quick. So it's not complicated. The latch is right there, and it just literally grabs that little piece right here and secures it. That's it. So, do you take the roof down a lot? I mean, you just always drive it with the roof down?
No, I only drive it with the roof down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, if it's...
I mean, it looks so different with the roof up, doesn't it?
When I've driven it before, let's say it's early, maybe I go to Cars and Coffee and it's early, and it's cold out, and I'm kind of a baby.
Or you're gonna run
I'll keep it up.
Sure.
I'll keep it up in the morning and then I'll put it down. But yeah, I always have the top down. This also saves a lot of weight.
Yep.
You know, there's not like 30 motors in it.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of the charm, you know. It's like
if you can't turn, you know, if you have to have Alexa do it, you can't have the car.
Alexa. I love it. All right, guys, let's go for a little drive in a amazing 991 Speedster. If you guys have watched my channel, I've got more Porsche content on it than anything. I'm just a real sucker for 911s, what can I say? Now we are on the Trace right now. So you can't go too fast, so we're just gonna take it easy, but there's a couple of roads off the Trace that I'll be able to run it out for you guys. You know, initial impressions, feels like a GT Porsche if you've ever been in one, very tight, right? Everything's very precise. It's not a machete, it's a scalpel, right? It's a deadly weapon. It's just very, 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 you know, ever so slightly you put any input into the wheel, you're gonna feel that in the front suspension. Down low, you do have a little bit of torque in this car, but like most Porsches, you're gonna have to run it out to get any real get up and go. And this car will do it, let me tell you. I mean, it definitely moves, there's no doubt about it. PCCB brakes, unbelievable brakes, some of the world's best. They do squeal a little bit. It does have auto blip, so if you're, if you can't drive this car competitively or fast, you're just a terrible driver. It literally does all of the work for you. Auto blip kind of takes all of the heel toe out of the game, but it's nice to have. Well, guys, with the roof down, just a really, really pleasurable experience.
That's a sound you don't get from a normal GT3.
And the reality is, 100%. And you can't really exploit these cars on the street.
No.
The limits are so high. You could be taking these turns literally at 90, 100 miles an hour and still not feel the full beans of what this car can do. But overall, as a tourer, as something you can just get in and putz around and have a good time and listen to that beautiful exhaust note. There's just not many cars that are going to be better than this. And it's a wonderful car, great piece of history. It's just fun, just a really fun time. What more do you need? Do you really need 650, 700 horsepower?
No.
And as soon as you get on the gas, you're going so fast that you're going to jail, Like, this is a car, and I love that about all Porsches, especially the GT cars. With 510 horsepower, I know that doesn't sound like much these days, but the reality is, that's more than you need.
It's still a very light car.
It is. It's 200 pounds?
200 pounds. Still a very light car, a lot of horsepower. And this, you don't even have to shift into fourth. You've got so much room in there, you never really need to go back into fourth gear.
Right. And just listen to that car, guys. Does that sound good or what? That exhaust he's got on it just opens it up ever so slightly.
And you're never, like I said, you're never going to hear that in a regular GT3.
Pretty amazing. It's a pretty amazing experience. It really is. I say that about every GT Porsche I get in. There's a reason why they're so desirable. There's a reason why they're so exclusive. Because they just give a sense of driving thrill and pleasure that few manufacturers get, and they're so bulletproof. It's over-engineered. Not that you would take a Speedster on the track, but the reality is you could. You could take this to the NCMs of the world. You could beat on it the entire day. You could literally drive it home, and you're just good. There's very rarely going to be any issues.
And this is a nice road, but it's a pretty smooth car. The suspension is from the GT3 Touring.
Yep. Oh, that exhaust, that engine, man, it's so organic,
isn't it?
So organic. It's so good.
You just want to keep going. You don't want to shift.
Nope.
You just want to keep going, go right through the turn. Oh, so good.
Listen to that. Boy, that's so organic, isn't it?
Wow, the sound is amazing, actually. This is such a great area to hear the sound.
Yep. As we head into an EV world, right? Like, that's going down in history as just one of the great sounds ever created by man.
I can't imagine hearing a Carrera GT through here. The sound really reverberates nicely.
I feel like I'm like barely pushing the car, So balanced. What a fun car. So fun. That'll never get old. Ever get old. That engine sounds so flippin' good, man.
Never gets old.
God, I love it. I love it. It screams so hard. Yeah, this thing punches above its weight class, man.
That sounds great here.
Oh, it is so good. Oh, so balanced. Yeah, he's driving the Corvette. And we're having more fun. Sorry, buddy. Oh, God, it sounds glorious. I wish everybody could have a Speedster.
Windshield is from the Boxster.
Is it?
Yep. So they take the windshield because it's raked down 2 inches lower than a 911 windshield.
Oh,
The
good.
regular 911 cab would be up here.
That's probably why I had a hard time shooting this car, because it just seems a
Yep.
little
So
lower
it
than
is-
most
it is
Porsches.
It is a lot higher.
Yeah.
I didn't think about to tell you that.
Yeah, because the 2RS I remember was has more of the bubble
It
with
does.
the cab, you know.
This actually is from the Boxster.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense actually, because I was like, man, this is a really low slung car. So, yep. That'll get your heart going, man.
It's fucking amazing.
God dang it. How do you not love that? I mean, if you're not a car guy, I get it, but that is just so organic and amazing and wonderful. It'll never come through on camera how good that sounds in person. You know, I try to shoot point of view. I try to get the car guys of the world to like appreciate it. You're getting 30 to 40% of the experience sitting in this seat, feeling the G-forces, hearing the car, especially shifting it myself. It's just next level.